Do you need a home inspection when buying a house? This question is becoming more and more common among home buyers in strong sellers markets. When desperate buyers compete against multiple offers, they're tempted to waive the inspection to appease the sellers. Some folks wonder if it's worth paying a few extra $100 for a home inspection at all. I'm Nick with Designer the DIYer. When I'm not DIYing something, I'm selling real estate in Austin, Texas. And in today's video, let's dive into home inspections and why you should get one before buying a house. In today's market, we're actually inching closer to a neutral or even a buyer's market, so you aren't having to waive home inspection contingencies, which I believe is a great thing. The home inspection is the most substantial contingency that a buyer possesses once they're under contract. The home inspection process allows the buyer to spend more time investigating the overall health of the home. Home buyers are often very curious about what the home inspector finds. They wonder what steps happen during the inspection and how to fix the problems that arise from the home inspection. I'll explain how it works and why you definitely need a home inspection. I'll also show you how home inspections can save you big money in the long run. This video is especially important if you decide to go into the home buying journey without a real estate agent. So why do you need to hire a home inspector? The main reason to hire a home inspector is to identify defects within specific accessible areas of your home. If issues go unnoticed before the sale goes through, you might have to pay thousands of dollars to fix them later. A home inspection is a non-invasive visual examination of the accessible areas of your property. When a home buyer puts an offer in a home, they've only been in the house one or two times at this point. Some people will even buy a home sight unseen. The home inspection offers the buyer time to perform their due diligence and make sure the key components function properly. After performing a home inspection, the home seller may pay for repairs that come up in the inspection report. These repairs are much more expensive than the cost of an inspection. Since the home sale is contingent on these repairs, the home seller is more likely to hire people to do them right. If there's any tension between parties, it's wise to negotiate a lower sales price rather than have the seller perform the repairs. You can also have the seller contribute a certain amount of money that gets taken off your final cash to close, and then after you close on the home, you can choose to do whatever you want with that money. If you want to make the repairs yourself or hire somebody to do them, or just go buy yourself another piece of furniture if dealing with whatever the repair is okay with you. Not dealing with it, rather. Having a home inspection limits your chances of moving into a home with unknown safety issues or structural flaws. Keep in mind that a home inspection will not reveal every issue that exists or ever could exist. It reveals only those defects observed on the date of the inspection. So what are the logistics of a home inspection? It's very important to understand the logistics of the home inspection process, such as who pays for the inspection, how much does the inspection cost, when should the inspection take place, should the buyer's agent attend the inspection, how long should you attend the inspection, how long does it usually take to perform the inspection, and how does the home inspection contingency work? Let's review some of these questions right now. So who pays for the home inspection? The home inspection is paid for by the home buyer in most cases. They will hire a professional home inspector to look at the entire home from the roof to the foundation. Some sellers will pay to have a home inspection performed before they list their home. This step is a smart move and one that I recommend my sellers doing when selling their home. It reveals repair issues that can be taken care of before ever going under contract. Most sellers do not hire a home inspector though. The home inspection part of the selling process typically is the buyer's sole responsibility. Why don't sellers hire a home inspection? Because technically, if they get a home inspection and they get the report with 30 deficiencies, then they are required to disclose everything that comes on that inspection report. So I make sure if my seller wants to do a home inspection report, I want them to agree to do the major, if not all, of the deficiencies that arise from a home inspection, because when they fill out that seller's disclosure notice, they are legally required to disclose everything from that report. That's why a lot of sellers don't do it. If you're purchasing a home where the seller recently had an inspection, you still benefit from paying for your own inspection. It's risky to trust a report coming from an opposing party whose interest is to sell their property for the most amount of money. This point is one of the main reasons why most sellers do not hire a home inspector before listing. They leave it up to the buyer to perform their own due diligence, which is a good idea. How much does a home inspection typically cost? A basic home inspection typically costs anywhere from $250 up to $650, depending on the home size and type. The age of the home can also affect this price as well. If you're living in a more expensive area such as New York or San Francisco, your home inspection could easily cost $1,000 or more. The purchase price of the home should not matter in the cost of your inspection. There are also many other types of inspections to consider in addition to the general home inspection. You might want to have specialized inspectors for unique items such as radon, mold, sewer, structural, and HVAC. The additional inspections can add up quickly. The other day I was pricing out a mold inspection, a thorough mold inspection in whole house. It was $1,500 for a general, a mold, and a termite inspection. So it definitely can get up there. And the house is only about 2,500 square feet. So when does a home inspection typically take place? Most home inspections take place within a day or two or a few days max of the property going under contract. Once a buyer has a signed sales contract, they will deposit their earnest money and option money first. Then they will schedule their home inspection. Sometimes real estate agents will schedule it for their clients. If the seller is performing a home inspection, it will happen before the home is listed on the market. Roughly 20% of all home inspections are paid for by the seller. That is just a general number. In Austin, in my market, that number is way less than that. I would say it's less than 5%. In some areas, it's becoming a trend. It hasn't quite picked up in the Austin market. Should the buyer's agent attend the home inspection? Some buyer's agents will attend the home inspection, but it is not mandatory. I personally always attend my clients' home inspections. A few states recommend that the buyer's realtor not attend the home inspection. They convey that realtors may influence the process. This problem has been presented in court cases recently, so state realtor associations have recommended that realtors stay out of the process. Every state and brokerage handles this situation differently. That's just a broad scope. In Austin, for the most part, in Texas, since we have the same rules in all of Texas, buyer's agents still, for the most part, attend home inspections. How long does an inspection typically take? The home inspection itself takes around 2 to 4 hours, depending, of course, on the size and type of the home. Most home inspection reporting softwares can generate the report and email it to you almost immediately, depending on how thorough your home inspector is. Some older software that home inspectors are using, there's even some people that just do it by hand, not much anymore. May take a day or two for you to get that report back. So what's a home inspection contingency? Most residential real estate sales contracts have inspection contingencies written into them. This contingency typically covers a certain amount of time for the buyer to hire an inspector, receive the report, and document and negotiate any repair requests. Once the seller receives the report and any repair requests, they will negotiate those items with the buyer's agent. Once an agreement has been reached, the two real estate agents will add these terms to the sales contract. The seller usually has 1 to 2 weeks to make any of their repairs needed, depending on the escrow length and the closing date. The home inspection is one of the most substantial contract contingency that a buyer possesses, like I said earlier. Once a contract is past this step, it's hard for the home buyer to back out of the deal. In Texas, we have what's known as an option period. In other states, I know it's called the due diligence period. So in Texas, the buyer pays anywhere from $25 to $100 per day during the option period. So for example, we have a 7-day option period. So once both parties agree, you have 7 days to get any inspections done, and that's, like $400. And during that period, the buyer can back out of the contract and only lose that option money, and they get their earnest money back. Earnest money in Texas is about 1%, and option periods can be extended. Say on day 5, you can't come to a negotiation. You might want to extend the option period if both parties still want to get the deal done. What should be covered in a home inspection? Here are the main areas you'll want to be addressed in your home during the home inspection report in your potential home. The attic, the basement, the bathrooms, the bedrooms, the kitchen, heating and cooling systems, electrical systems, plumbing system, roof, structure, and the grounds, the outside kind of grading, that type of stuff. So the attic, when your home inspector looks in the attic, they will ensure no decayed wood or structural damage exists. Additionally, they will check for proper ventilation, water penetration, and electrical issues. The basement. When checking the basement, the home inspector will look for signs of moisture and cracks in the basement walls. They will also check for water intrusion and ensure that the sump pump is working correctly. The bathrooms. Your inspector will check the plumbing and electrical outlets, GFCI functionality. So that's just an extra protection with your outlets that is necessary code in all wet areas, and proper ventilation in the bathrooms. Additionally, a bathroom inspection involves make sure the drains and toilet are functioning properly. The bedrooms. When the home inspector looks in the bedrooms, they'll ensure that the ceiling, floors, and walls are straight. They will check for damage, cracks, or strains in the structure. They'll check the electricity, the lights in every room, as well as air conditioning and heating circulation. The kitchen. When the home inspector is looking in the kitchen, they'll ensure that the plumbing works properly. They'll check the refrigerator, oven, stove, garbage disposal, microwave. They'll test the dishwasher and water pressure as well. Heating and cooling systems. The home inspector will check that there is no gas odor near the heating and cooling systems. This can be a sign of a gas leak. They'll also ensure that both the heating and AC are working correctly. They'll make sure that the air is traveling correctly through the home from the HVAC system. And they'll, of course, recommend further inspections if they feel like it needs to have one. Electrical systems. The inspection of electrical system will include checking the wiring and electrical panel. They'll look for exposed wiring and anything that is out of code. Additionally, telephone and network cables are checked for safety, and service panels are inspected. The plumbing system. When the home inspector looks at the plumbing system, they'll check for leaks and damage. Additionally, they'll ensure that the water heater is working correctly. They'll also check its temperature, ensuring that its max temp can't go above 125 degrees Fahrenheit. They'll usually go on the roof. When the home inspector looks at the roof, we'll identify areas that potentially have been damaged by hail or trees. They'll look for rotten wood around chimneys, missing shingles, and potential water penetration. The exterior structure and grounds. The home inspector will inspect the foundation and assess the health of the overall structure of the home. They'll look for cracks or bone in the foundation floor and supporting walls. Cracks protruding from the corner of windows and doors can be an indicator that the foundation has shifted. They will also look at the quality of the deck, fence, shed, and any detached structures. Many home inspectors will walk the lot and look for anything out of the ordinary. So what isn't typically covered in the home inspection? While a general home inspection covers a lot of areas, it doesn't cover water contamination or tests for radon levels. Additionally, the home inspector might not look for mold, but they will measure the moisture of the walls and recommend further inspection. Modern home inspectors include options for these services that can be added to your inspection report and inspection. A home inspection won't include checking for asbestos or pests, while some inspectors will recommend termite inspection or tell you in the report if they see signs of that. If you have worries about these issues, you'll need to hire specialty inspectors to inspect them. Specialty inspectors may also require additional time to complete and will cost more money. Think carefully about which items are necessary for the home that you're potentially buying. Consult with your real estate agent, because your agent a lot of times will know if certain neighborhoods or areas are prone to termites, or if the house is older and there might be a different type of foundation. So your agent can kind of help you guide and advise you whether you should consider getting more inspections. So how do we typically resolve inspection objections? Once the inspection is performed, these issues that come up in the inspection report will be addressed. Not all of them though. You'll decide with your agent who will repair what and which repairs must be made before the sale goes through. The listing agent and buyer's agent will work back and forth to negotiate a reasonable response for both parties. Once terms have been agreed upon, the agents will put these details in writing and add them to the sales contract through an amendment. The seller will have the repairs completed and provide receipts as proof of the work performed. Before the closing, the buyer will do a final walkthrough to verify that all the repairs are completed. If the inspection turns out to be a disaster, you may want to walk away totally from the deal together. Of course, your real estate agent can help guide you through this process. Sometimes we negotiate just seller concessions in lieu of them repairing anything. Sometimes my buyer clients want to hire and make sure the work is done correctly. And many times you can actually get more money from a seller concession versus how much it would cost to repair a certain thing. So talk to your real estate agent or ask me in the comments and I'll try my best to get back to you. So how do you find a good home inspector? Home inspector come in many various forms. Some states, such as Colorado, do not have state licensing requirement for home inspectors. One way to find a good inspector in these states would be to search the International Association of Certified Home Inspectors website. This resource will help you find an inspector who adheres to the guidelines. Local realtors are also a good source for finding good home inspectors. They have worked with many inspectors in the area and typically have a few favorites that they prefer. It would be good to have 2 or 3 to choose from, as good inspectors can get booked quickly. In Texas, inspectors are required to have a license, and you can look them up on the TREC, the Texas Real Estate Commission website, to make sure they don't have any negative issues. And of course, like, do your due diligence and read Google reviews and all that. And of course, talk to your real estate agent. As many real estate markets across the country are experiencing more inventory, the buyers are rethinking the value of a home inspection. In tight situations, sales contracts will state that no repairs will be made, even under those circumstances. It is essential that you still have the home inspected before buying it, even if you agree to not have any repairs, so you know what you are going to getting into, and more importantly, living in. Even newly built homes that have never been lived in have had issues. I actually had $1 million+ home with the home inspection was worse than another home that was built in the 60s. It was absolutely crazy. You can have your home inspected for a small fee to know what problems you may be inheriting when you purchase a home. I highly recommend never skipping a home inspection when buying a house. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you learned a thing or two. If you did, hit that like button, and it would be better if you subscribe to my channel. Thanks. Talk to you soon.